Welcome to the SJ Child Show. This episode is sponsored by Water and Body Basics. Visit 3440 South, 5600 West, West Valley City, Utah. Mention SJ Childs today.
Hi, and welcome to the SJ Child Show. I'm your host, SJ Childs, and it's so funny because now with this side by side, anybody can be the host, right? You could be the host too, Jimmy.
Yeah.
And hi, everybody. This is Jimmy Clare, and he's joining us today from New Jersey, where it's sunny, and I'm jealous because I'm in gray skied Utah, unfortunately, but so nice to have you here today. And I'm excited about our conversation and some topics we're going to cover. Let us know a little bit about yourself. Go ahead and introduce yourself and tell us why you're here.
Well, I'm a motivational speaker, autism advocate, author, and founder of crazyfitnessguy.com.
Fantastic.
And I'm here just to share my interesting story with everyone.
Absolutely. And I love that. And I'm so glad that you are here too. And it's great because I get to follow you on your path as well as, me for mine. So it's exciting that we get to keep up with one another. Now, do you also do a podcast?
Yes, I do. It's called Crazy Fitness Guy Healthy Living Podcast. And it's been up and running for a year.
Nice.
My business has been up and running for 4 years.
Wow.
And I would like to say it's been 4 awesome, amazing years, but I'd be lying through my teeth.
That's okay, right? No, and you never can look at the beginning of a business and gauge its potential by that. So you have to kind of give it that time and patience, don't you, to ride through the waves.
Too much time and patience.
Definitely. Well, let's go back to the beginning, when did you get your diagnosis? Let's start there because I have a lot of autism listeners. Obviously, I'm a huge autism love and advocate of celebrating all things autism. So thank you so much. It's an honor to have you here today. Tell us about that. What did that look like for you growing up?
So I got diagnosed with autism in elementary school. I honestly do not. Honestly, the doctor who diagnosed me, she didn't really tell me. She just told my parents while I was in the same room with them. I wasn't even listening to them at the time because I was like, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what this means. Blah, blah, blah. Don't really care. Blah, blah, blah. Can I get the heck out of here?
Yeah, right?
And I think I don't remember what I was doing while I was not even listening to the grown speak. I think I was playing either handheld video games or playing with my toys, and I didn't really give a crap to be there.
Yeah.
So at the time, even though I was diagnosed with autism, I didn't know what any of that meant, and I didn't know what autism was. I didn't think I'd even heard the word autism when I was being diagnosed. My parents did, but it's like I tuned everything out because I was like, when can I get leave and when can I go home?
Right?
Can I be anywhere but here? I'm glad it got me out of school early, but now that it got me out of school early, I'm ready to go home. And
let's go back, right? No,
yeah.
I'm just kidding.
And so I didn't really understand all of that until I started going to my own IEP meetings in high school. And I have to say, I thought I had to become like some kind of career politician in order to not do anything, but I was completely wrong because holy moly, I've been told by people ahead of time, is like, okay, Jimmy, during these meetings, you have to sit there. You can't say anything. I'm like,
Why would I go?
And I go back into my class.
Yeah.
I'd rather be bored in my class and just do whatever in my class and pay attention to my class instead of being in my own meeting. It's like, but it's a milestone for you, Jimmy. It's a milestone for me, but it doesn't help me in any way possible. And they basically shoved me in this meeting. And so picture this. I'm so it's a long meeting table,
Yeah.
and I'm at the head of the table, and I'm seeing both sides of the table sit down on opposite sides, and one half of the rooms is arguing one thing. It's like, no, Jimmy needs this, and the other half says, no, Jimmy does not need this, and then they counter argue with something else that Jimmy needs. Hello, I'm right here at the head of the table.
Let's just find out for me what I need.
Yeah. I was like, why make me suffer sitting through my own IEP meeting and I can't bring anything to the table? And it's like, I'd rather have them be open-minded and listen. It's like, okay, I think I should go with this route for a time being. And then if we need to change, we can come back to what Jimmy needs to figure out later on. Because I think I had like 2 or 3 different meetings. So I was like, well, why can't I say something, try it, and if it doesn't work, then we come back and revamp it again.
Exactly.
But nope, nobody wanted to listen to what Jimmy wanted. And someone pointed out to me, who knows what's best for you than you?
Mm-hmm.
No one.
Nobody. No, not even parents. They like to think that they do, and they want to with good intentions, right? But if we really respect humans as they are, as human beings, then we let them tell us and we let them communicate with us in whatever form that is. And I completely agree with you.
And like, my parents did a lot of advocating for me when I was younger. And I have to say that they did a really good job of needing what I needed.
Yeah.
And they listened to me what I needed. But I absolutely hated what the school made me do in high school, where it's like, you're going to come to your own IEP meetings. What did I do to deserve this pain? Why?
Oh, and in my experience, with our son, IEP meetings have, at first they were kind of scary because I didn't know what I was getting myself into. But as soon as I did understand, they've never been anything but pleasant. Only because it's team building, and that's what I let them all see. We're building a team. We're building a team to work together. We're not going to argue. We're not going to have we can have a discussion, but this isn't what's, what's best and I don't. Let's bring ideas together and come up with the best plan that we can. And I completely see where and do see where parents and teachers have different ideas of what this meeting should be about, when there needs to be this middle ground that is like, hey, this is a team. If we come together and we act as a team and we all wear the same colors of, whatever, then we can get things done in an appropriate, manner that's best for the student at hand. And I love that they brought you in, but I don't love that they didn't bring you in for the right intentions, which was to let you have your own piece and say what you needed. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like, disrespectful, number one, to you as a human. I apologize on their behalf to you. So shame on you, school, whoever you are out there. And, otherwise, like, really great that you got to see that and see that experience, because I wish that more parents would bring their kids. I wish that more kids would be involved. Shouldn't that be the way it is? Shouldn't they have like a little checklist they could check off for themselves?
Maybe. Yeah. I just think like how the school system was set up and where I was going to school is that once you hit a certain age in high school, you got to go to your own meeting. So it wasn't that they it's not that they wanted to hear a piece from me or they wanted to work as a team. They were working with a team with my parents,
Yeah.
but they weren't working with a team with me. And I was like, it's fun to work with my parents when I was growing up because I didn't even know what any of this meant and everything. But in high school, what's really funny, I could choose to go off to war and fight for my own country if I'm so as willing to please, but I can't make my own decision on what's best for me.
Yeah, right. I can't make a math
Cool.
decision.
Gee,
Yeah.
I can't think for myself.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. And, I don't think that I love that you're saying all these things because I think that it's something that newer parents need to understand that no matter what your child, not neurodiverse or not, children are they're human beings and they deserve just as much respect as adult human beings. We don't sit and talk in front of other human beings saying this, and this about this person. We include them or we don't do it at all, hopefully. But every day you see the parents talk in front of their kids, not giving their kids respect as a person to, number one, have the conversation with them on the level that they can understand as well so that they can be a part of it, and respect them enough to not talk in front of them about them, right?
Yeah. Like one of the things my parents always have done, if I didn't understand something, they try to explain it to me in another way.
Yeah.
And so where it makes sense. Like I give an example for when I didn't understand autism and whatnot, I decided to take upon myself later on in life to say, oh, what does this mean? And then I got different definitions, different this, and eventually I decided to come up in my own definition of what it was, just so I didn't like plagiarized or whatnot, and take my own spin on it to make sense for my brain. And I and then once I figured that one out, I thought, hey, you know what? I don't care I'm different. I'm going to use it to my own ability to help others, because it's like, I don't think people have listened to me years ago. So maybe they'll start listening to me now.
Exactly. Good for you. No, I think that that's fantastic. And I don't know if you know, but my husband also has Asperger's. So I completely see and understand how, as adults, you finally have this understanding of your own self and your struggles and these things that you've been through. And you finally have like a space to put it in your own brain. It's like, okay, that fits. That makes sense now. That takes care of what this, and that. But also to just be able to say, yeah, I think a lot differently than you. So if you want to communicate, you're going to either have to think differently or we can't have this conversation. People need to be open-minded. They need to realize that like one way thinking isn't the way of the future. It's not a future. It's like being stuck in mud, right? That's all it is.
Oh yeah.
It's useless.
No. If we were all thinking the same, and wearing the same clothes, we'd be stormtroopers from the Star Wars.
There you go.
Like, okay, let's march in the same line, and we both end up being dead. Cool.
Exactly. right. There's nothing good to come of that. So no, I think that it's so nice that you have found, a way to use your voice and to really, use a platform that you can help others. Tell us a little bit about your crazy fitness guide. Tell us how that got started.
So that's kind of a long story, but I'm going to try to simplify that. But let's see how that goes, since it's in the middle of the week. So I started Crazy Fitness Guy my first semester in college. My college professor told everyone in the class, in order to become a better writer, you're going to have to keep writing every single day. And it dawned on me. I was like, how can I write every single day? There's no way I could do that. Not because I didn't want to, but I was like, well, what can I write about? I was like, just like write different sentences or the same sentence over 1,000 times. And so I didn't want to write in a Google Doc. I didn't want to write in Microsoft Word. I didn't want to write it on a piece of paper. So I decided, well, and then I saw this person's website in my class, and it's like, I really feel like starting a website. So I started a website. I got a domain name. The one thing I wish I never ever did was I was known as a different name, well, two different names before I started before I started Crazy Fitness Guy. The first name, I'm not even going to bother going digging it up because it was let's just say it was like kind of the dark me sort of, where I was in a very ticked off stage of mind. And that's all I'm saying, because it doesn't even exist on the web anymore, I don't think. So
we'll just leave
I
it
don't
there.
even want to bring it up.
Exactly.
And maybe I'll bring it up at some other point, but why even venture down that road?
Yeah.
And then the other one I cannot say because it was trademarked by some company, and
which is why you have yours now. I see.
Yeah,
that's the lesson.
I finally got it registered after 17 months.
Yes.
Thanks, government.
Right. It takes forever, doesn't it? I know.
Took forever.
I need to do the same thing.
So one of the things that they so once because that company was a registered trademark, I didn't understand. I knew about the trademark laws, sort of. I didn't understand them. Like, I heard of like what a trademark is. I didn't know what the in-depth laws were at the time, so I was freaking out. I got one of the cease and desist letters.
Oh, dang.
Via email.
Yeah.
But the person who owned the company, I don't know if it was him personally, but it looked like him. But somebody could have easily like managed his email accounts. Not saying that's the wrong way to do it. If you have a company, great.
Right.
I mean, like more people than one person.
Yeah.
The company has been around for many, many years, and the person said, "I don't want to stick lawyers on you. You have 30 days to change it." And when I asked many follow-up questions, he said, "Here, all you have to do is just change one variant of the name, and then you can do whatever with it." I was like, well, that doesn't sound too terrible. Yeah. And so fast forward, I started thinking like, well, what can I come up with? I was kind of worried. I couldn't think of anything. And so I just decided to combine three different names. It's like, okay, Crazy Fitness Guy. And then I was like, okay, let's go with it. And so I did a quick search of Google. Nothing came up with it. The only person who came up with it was Richard Simmons, but he's retired and from being a celebrity personal trainer, and he never registered the name. And then I looked in the USPTO database, wasn't even registered in there. So I was like, I'm taking it. And of course, at the time, I didn't fully check the USPTO database until like later on when I learned about the USPTO. Yeah. Like I read somewhere about them, but I never knew what they really did until I started registering the mark. Yeah. And so then I continued, and the only thing I really wish I never did was start on WordPress because, and full disclaimer, it's not a bash against WordPress. It's just I'm not a developer. I didn't know how to get myself out of every single technical.
I have the same problem with the same thing. Exactly. I know exactly what you're saying. I've spent more time on their coaching IT website.
Well, I troubleshoot so many different plugins and so many different other things. I couldn't take it anymore, so I jumped over to Squarespace.
Okay.
And I just wanted to say that full disclosure. I was saying it's not a bash towards them. I don't wish any ill on them.
Just some easier things than others, right?
It is for me.
Yeah.
I'm not a developer. I've only taken one beginning coding class, and that was only beginners. It did not cover, hey, if you have a problem with this error on this website, you go fix it this way.
Yeah.
No, not even close.
Yeah.
Beginner is like, here's how to find the error in the code. It's like finding freaking Waldo.
Yeah, exactly.
And I still can't even find Waldo.
Oh, I know, right?
It's that guy in the red and white hat.
Yeah.
Nope, still can't find him.
Oh, funny. So do you like fitness? I mean, when did that become a part of like your life and an interest that you took?
So I started working out back in 2000, I think 11.
Okay.
And I was getting bullied on and off in elementary school all the way up until high school. So I was getting bullied pretty much 7 to 8 years, 365 days. Actually, it'd be like,
yeah, it's a long time.
I think like 300 something days of the year.
Oh my heavens.
And every single day. And it was really, really old, really, really quick.
Yeah.
And there was only a handful of teachers and staff that actually in the school that actually believed in bullying that existed. Mm-hmm. And then there's the other half that says like, it doesn't exist here.
Tough it up.
I'm like,
yeah.
Are you smoking too much weed here? Again, I didn't.
They're in the 70s and never left.
Again, I never said that as a kid growing up, but now that I'm looking at it, it's like, smoking too much weed. And so I finally, fast forward to 2011, me and my dad were trying to lose weight. I had a personal trainer that came to my house when I was in elementary school or maybe middle school. And if I remember correctly, he wasn't that much in shape either. I'm like, why should I be taking why should I be taking advice from this guy? No thanks. And so we stopped doing that. I don't remember the reason why, or maybe he just got bored. I don't even know. My parents didn't tell me that one. He just stopped showing up. So I was like, oh, cool, more free time, sweet. But when in 2011, me and my dad saw this info commercial for P90X from Beachbody, and me and my dad were sitting on the couch watching TV, and we both leaned over to each other and was like, "You think this is?" And I was like, "You think that would work?" And it's like, well, I don't know. We tried personal training. We tried just go to the gyms ourselves. What else do we have to lose? And I was like, good point. I was like, we kind of already lost our dignity, and that ship has sailed a long time ago. So we just decided, hey, we're gonna try this. So he ordered it. It came like, I think maybe 3 days later. And the first day, we did this test run just to see if we were able to do it. And before that, on the video says, please consult your doctor before you're starting any fitness programs. And normally I would say, great, I'm going to consult my doctor. but I was at a point in my life where it was either going to happen that very moment or it's not going to happen at all.
Yeah.
And I got tired of the doctors telling me, it's like, Jimmy, you need to lose some weight. Jimmy, you need to do that.
Yeah.
And I was like, thank you, doc. And some of my doctors had some kind of smallish belly as well. And so they were kind of like a little heavy in the middle. And it's like, you first, doc.
I'll lead by example.
Yeah, I didn't ever say that as a kid either, but I'm just like thinking in my head, it's like, you're telling me to lose weight?
Yeah.
Think you take your own advice first, and then you can come back and tell me, yeah, I suggest highly recommend you losing weight. And so after the first week we did it, we were crawling up the stairs like, this is brutal.
Yeah.
And we have to do this 90 days. Oh boy, I don't think I can do this. But we kept on going down and downstairs in the basement every single day. Even when my dad didn't feel like doing it, I was like, no, we're going. And so I lost 30 pounds with P90X. And it gave me enough confidence and the amount and starting to see the muscle definition gave me the confidence to stand up to the bullies. And I stood up in my math class one day and went over to the bullies' desks and told them to stop messing with me and my friends right in their face. And of course, afterwards, my teacher sent me down to the principal's office. I was like, you're not allowed to interrupt my math class. And I was like, yep, I got it. And I liked my math teacher back then, but obviously he was just doing it to make a point.
It was a worthy cause, yeah.
But my principal didn't even bother to suspend me or give me detention.
Sure.
It was like, you stand up for your friends, and it's like he'll live with it.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And honestly, I never did that again in my math class. It's not like I made a habit of, hey, I'm just gonna cause a scene and whatnot. I didn't like to do that. And even though I had some autism meltdowns in school, I didn't really like them.
Yeah.
But so even though I got in trouble with my math teacher, he didn't get me detention either. He just wanted to make a point. It's like, you're not going to interrupt my class again. It's like, obviously I'm not going to, I'm sick and tired of these people who keep picking on me.
Yeah, definitely. So when did you start your podcast then?
So I started my podcast last year once Crazy Fitness Guy reached 3 years of being in business. And this year would be 4 years. So I was like, okay, I knew once I hit year number 3, I wanted to go into podcasting because like, okay, if I'm going to be a motivational speaker, people need to hear my voice.
Yeah, good practice, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I started getting myself on so many different podcasts, guest appearances. Today's my 92nd podcast.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been busy. I even been featured on Australia TV.
That's cool.
And I also got featured in New York City Times Square.
Ooh, that's amazing. I love that.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
I'm so fortunate to have that opportunity. I got from another colleague of mine who just like, she just messaged me on Facebook and said, Jimmy, you need to go do this. And it's like, really? And I was like, yeah, you should go do this. And it's like, you never know if you're going to know the opportunity like this. So I put everything down what I was doing. It's like, screw whatever else I'm doing. I'm going to go do this. Company comes back to me a few weeks later and it's like, you've been featured in New York City Times Square. And it's like, holy moly.
Yay.
And all my family kidded around with me. I was like, Jimmy, I heard your ugly mug is in New York City. And I was like, you're just jealous that my mug is in New York City.
There you go. That's right. Oh, that's hilarious. Well, that's wonderful that you were able to do those things. And tell us before we finish wrapping up here, where we could go and find your website and your podcast and all of those good things.
Well, you can find pretty much everything under Crazy Fitness Guy. Just Google it. I show up on the first page of Google.
Love it.
And if you want to follow me, just Google Jimmy Clare. I have so many, between me and Crazy Fitness Guy, I think I have, if I counted correctly, I think I have over 100 plus profiles.
What? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I wish I could take some of them back, but since I crawled myself all the way up to the first page, ranking Richard Simmons' Wikipedia page and the retired soccer player Jimmy Clare, I'm not taking back.
No, I agree. There you go. I love that. I love that. But I'll make sure to have all the links down in the description and text up on the screen so we can go and find you, listen to the Crazy Fitness Guy podcast, and check out his website, Crazy Fitness Guy. Thank you so much for being my guest today, Jimmy. It was such an honor and a pleasure to have you here. I appreciate you sharing your story with us. And I hope that all of our listeners will go and support you on your podcast as well. And hey, we'll just double the numbers. I like that idea.
Me too.
Okay. Absolutely. My pleasure. We'll talk to you soon.
Definitely.